Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to do an eBay dedicated video. Since I am no longer really actively selling on eBay as much as I was before, I don't really have too many active listings in my store, just a few of some high-end designer pieces, but no clothing, nothing like that. Since I've really taken a step back on the eBay selling, I thought I would share some of my biggest mistakes while selling on eBay. I think these are things that I learned along the way, and maybe not things that I was doing the whole time I was selling on eBay, but things I wish I could have changed and possibly known before. Or not really known, because I did know these things, but really know how important it is to implement them, in my opinion. So I'm going to go over. As always, these are my opinions. These are not, anyone else's opinion. Just because I feel this way doesn't mean you need to feel this way. Just because I feel that I should have implemented these doesn't mean you need to implement them. I did get a lot of thumbs down on my last video, which I'm really not sure why. I was not bashing eBay. I was just saying the facts, and that I am no longer selling as much on eBay, and that is a fact. And eBay has been having a lot of problems, which is another fact. So I guess some people probably didn't like that very much, but it is the truth. So I'm going to jump in to my biggest mistakes selling on eBay. The first one I want to talk about, I wrote them down in like little notes, but the first one I want to talk about is an inefficient inventory system. So I suffered a lot from this, and most of it was due to laziness, because I had so much inventory, and at the time I did not start implementing an inventory system, so I didn't have something in place, which it would have, once I realized I needed an inventory system. I had already had like 400 plus pieces. When I first started selling on eBay, I attempted to do an inventory system on the hangers, but that just got too complicated and too hectic, and I had somebody else that was doing the listings and building them out. So it just got very complicated. So if I could go back, I wish I would have started implementing a good inventory system. And I know there are tons of videos of inventory systems out there on YouTube. I never did one because I never really had a good inventory system. And I felt, if I don't have one implemented, then I shouldn't be talking about having one implemented, if that makes sense. My stuff was just kind of hung up so I could see it by the eye. It did take up a lot of space that way because I had lots of racks. I've shown it in like old vlogs. You guys can go back and look at that. I really like the rack system, but I think there needed to be a better inventory system. I think, who is it that has a really good hanging system? I don't know if they still have that system, but I think it is, oh my gosh, what is her name? Let me look it up, because she has posted on Instagram her inventory system, and I really like her inventory system. Her name is Monica. So it is something hanger. What is it? Okay, the Posh hanger has a really good hanging inventory system. I don't know if she still uses that inventory system, but when I saw on her Instagram, she did have stuff hung, so it was a good inventory system. So I wish I would have implemented something like that versus just having it all hung up and not really knowing where everything was. Sometimes I would lose inventory. That's definitely really important, but really the ultimate that I wish I would have done would have been boxed inventory. But I found it like, I don't know, at the time I didn't really think it was necessary, but looking back, it was definitely necessary, and I would highly recommend that. And then just enter either somewhere in the listing or in the SKU or something like that, enter in where you have it placed, like what box, what part of the hanging. So definitely something like that. There's tons of videos, like I said, so make sure you guys watch something regarding that. Number 2, something I wish I would have done would have been to do kind of like a call of action postcard, which I do that in my other businesses. I send out like a really pretty postcard, and it has like information to follow on Instagram, and sometimes a discount code, like little thank you cards. I do that for my other businesses, but for some reason I didn't really think it was necessary for an eBay business, which I wish I could have definitely implemented. But by call to action, obviously it's harder on eBay. I think it may even be against the policies to like tell people to shop from you somewhere else. But definitely one that I have personally gotten when I shop on eBay, like I've gotten these multiple times when I shop on eBay, is a little postcard telling people to, you know, if you liked your order, if you're super happy with it, leave 5 stars, please. Or if you have any issues, I don't think I'm wording it right because it sounds kind of not very nice when I'm saying it, but I will definitely insert some pictures of what I'm talking about, and just so you guys can get an idea of what I mean. Having a call of action in that package really does make your buyer, you know, like the brand. And most of the time when people get, you know, a package, they're not thinking, oh, I have to go leave a review. A lot of people don't do that, which is why sometimes your stars will not amount to how many sales you got. So sometimes lots of people just forget. They simply just forget to leave a review. Not that they didn't like the product or whatever it was that you sold. They just simply forgot to do it. So definitely, I think that is so important. I wish I would have done that. I just didn't feel like it was something, you know, like I didn't take it, not that I didn't take my eBay store seriously, but I wasn't treating it like its own platform, which leads me into number 3. Treating your store like its own platform is so important. Even though you are selling on eBay and there is an eBay fee and it isn't your own URL in most cases, and you know, you are just selling on another site, totally take that out of your mind. It's not just another site, it is your business, and treat it as if it were your own platform. So a lot of people will just have a very disorganized, chaotic store. That should not be the case. You should be treating it as if it were your own website. And if you had your own website and wasn't selling on eBay, your store would be nice and organized. You would, you know, it would all be cohesive and make sense. That's exactly how you should treat your eBay store. Don't treat it like it's just another eBay store, like who cares, I'm just selling one item. No, you are not just selling that one item. You are selling multiple items. So treating it like it's its own store is going to make your customers think it's its own store and have some sort of professionalism. So definitely treating the eBay store like it's its own entity, even though you are selling on eBay, is super, super important, which is where sending those postcards comes into play. When you order from, let's see, I like shopping on Toby, I like shopping with Sephora, I like shopping with all those different stores online that are on their own platform. And when I get a package from them, I am getting a postcard that says something about their business. Just because, you know, you cannot be putting your own website on the postcard doesn't mean you can't be sending a postcard to encourage shoppers to visit your store. So that is what I mean by treating your store like it's its own platform. Make an Instagram account. That is so important. I see lots of people have stores on Instagram, but don't have an Instagram just for the store. Not about you selling on eBay and you sourcing. Your customers don't want to see that you're buying something for $3 and selling it for $30. You know what I mean? So definitely having just an eBay store Instagram account, and just kind of like, you know, having either lifestyle pictures, or I'm gonna talk more about that in the Instagram videos, like how brands have successful Instagram pages and stuff and having a cohesive flow. Definitely open one of those for your Instagram account, so that way Instagram is free. You can be acquiring customers from Instagram to your eBay store. It doesn't mean just because you have an Instagram, you need to have your own platform. If you don't feel comfortable with your own platform, that doesn't mean you still can't have an Instagram page for your business. You're just directing people to your eBay store and not just, not using that free platform. That is such an amazing tool that I encourage everybody to use. So this Instagram page that I'm talking about, it's a business Instagram. It would not be showing you sourcing, you at the thrift store. It's fine for you to have that Instagram, but keep them separate. You can talk about your eBay account on that personal page, but just have a store Instagram account. Now, oh my goodness, okay, now number 4. eBay has lots of amazing seller tools that I feel a lot of people are not utilizing. I definitely wasn't utilizing them to my advantage. Looking at different time periods is something that I do in all my other businesses. I do that in my bag business. I do that in Love Always. I'm constantly looking at different time periods, what was happening this time last year or this time a month ago. I'm constantly using those analytics to help me know, okay, during this time I was selling this and this is when my best sales were rolling in. eBay has that all set up for you, and I feel that a lot of people don't take advantage of those. It's so important And I don't really know why I wasn't doing this in my eBay business. Like, this was a huge mistake. It is so important to know, at least for me in my business, I like to, at the end of every month, so right now it is the end of the month, so I am gonna be doing that. I like to look back at last month's and compare this month to that month and see, okay, this month I had this amount of sales, and this month I had this amount of sales. Maybe last month was higher, maybe last month was lower. But when it was higher, it was because I was selling X amount of product. I was selling this type of product. But when it was lower, it was because, okay, I was selling this item. I sourced this amount. So looking at numbers and stats is so important, and eBay has made it so easy for sellers to look at those stats. So definitely take advantage of those, because that is something that is expensive when you have your own platform, and it's something that becomes a lot more complicated when you have your own platform. You know, Google Analytics becomes involved, and there's a lot more involvement, versus eBay has it all set up for you. So definitely take advantage of that seller dashboard and be looking at your numbers constantly. The next thing I want to talk about is better pictures. I know this is so controversial and so up in the air, and lots of people don't think you need this for a successful store. Lots of people don't think that this helps or it changes anything. At first, I didn't really think that it mattered when I started selling on eBay. Yes, I've always liked for my items and my listings to have the same backdrop and background. I've always really been a big fan of that. But I wasn't, like, you know, sometimes it was okay if this one had a white background or a lifestyle shot. You know, I didn't really care. I wasn't taking too much into account on that. But after I went to eBay Open last year, I realized that yes, it does matter, especially that white background. Now, not necessarily the white background, because I know it is really hard to do a white background and to get those crisp and white. I know it's really difficult to do that, and it does sometimes take a lot of money, and if you are a new seller, you aren't gonna be spending that type of money on equipment and stuff like that. But definitely having a cohesive backdrop is going to make your store stand out. If you have one background with white, you have one facing the kitchen, you have one with a black wall, you have so many different things going on. When people see your listing, they're not going to be able to distinguish, like, okay, this is this seller, I bought from them before, I want to buy from them again. So things like that, little things like that, can make a huge difference. So I know I follow lots of stores on eBay that I like to get inspiration from, that are constantly I recognize them. Like, even when I'm searching comps for something, I will literally recognize their background and be like, oh my gosh, this is this seller, because all their pictures are like that. So definitely doing cohesiveness, not necessarily just a white background, but cohesiveness in general is definitely going to bring more buyer retention, and it's just going to make your store look a lot more professional. That is so important, and I can't stress that enough. And I was doing this, but I wasn't being so strict with it. Like, sometimes my listing would have it and sometimes it wouldn't. So definitely enforcing that, I think, will make a world of difference. And that was 5 things. It went so fast, but I do have a bonus one that I want to throw in there, and that is definitely selling what people like. If you can have the most beautiful store, the most organized store, you can implement every single thing that I just said. But if you are not selling things that people want to see, and if you are not selling things that are popular and in demand, your sales are not going to be, you're not going to be converting sales as fast as the person that is focusing on things that are selling right now, that are trending right now. Yes, it is important to have a year-round store. You could put sweaters, you could put whatever you want to put in your store year-round. I've always been a firm believer in that. But if you are not throwing in things there that people want to see, and by that I mean studying the market, studying what is going on. I don't know if eBay makes it as easy as Amazon to do that, but on Amazon it's really easy to study the market and study what you're seeing and what is going on. In eBay, it is so important to do the same thing, because if you are selling things that people don't care about, your sales aren't going to be as good. Yes, you will continue to get sales, but if you are not continuing to put new items and what people want to see, it's not going to happen. So definitely, I feel like that is, I know that when you go to the thrift store, you don't really have control over what you find. But if you are sourcing wholesale items to resell on eBay or to resell on Amazon or wherever it is you're reselling, it is a lot easier for you to control what it is you're buying, because you are presented with the wholesale website and you are to choose what you want to sell. So obviously you're not going to pick things that you know are not selling right now. You're going to pick things that have a background and that have a reputation of selling well on that platform. So that's pretty much it, guys. These are my top 5, technically 6, because I did go into 6 mistakes on selling on eBay. Definitely I have some things I want to elaborate on, but I wanted to make this more of like a helpful video for people that are just starting to sell, or maybe you've already been selling and you're not implementing these. I just really wanted to make an overall my 5 biggest mistakes that I made on eBay. So hopefully you guys will not make the same mistakes. Thank you so much for watching my video and stopping by my channel. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to hit that subscribe button, where you guys will be able to find lots of awesome lifestyle videos as well as lots of business oriented videos. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.